Hello and welcome to video 10 in my Modelling in Maya series. The main body model is almost complete, but before we move on and test how it deforms, we are going to take a break and work on some of the extra elements we need. So in this video, we will build her eyes, teeth and tongue. Before we get started, how would you like to shape the future of this channel and keep these videos free? The quickest and easiest way to show support is to hit the thanks button below this video, or alternatively, simply visit my Ko-fi page and treat me to a coffee. Another option is to visit the antCGi store. Here you will find lots of free downloads, plus all the course assets and scripts for each of my courses. Finally, you could become a member of the antCGi club. For a small monthly donation, you will get access to some exclusive rewards and member perks. Just click the join button below to get started. Remember, the more support I get, the more time I can dedicate to creating more high quality content just for you. To get more information on how you can help, follow the link on the screen or in the description below. Okay, let's get on with the video. So I think we'll start with the eyes first, as these are relatively simple. First, create a basic sphere. Just the default one will do, and rotate it so the pole is pointing forwards. Remember, you can hold J to snap the rotation. And let's increase the divisions to 8. Now let's enable smooth mesh. If we pan around to the side, you can see that even though this is supposed to be a sphere, it's no longer spherical. And this is just down to how the smooth mesh has been applied to this particular geometry. What we can do to counteract this is create a NURB sphere. And you can see that this is actually spherical, so we can use this to help guide us as we reshape the polygon sphere. Let's make it bigger first. And then scale it in. Okay, that's about right. We no longer need the NURB sphere, so we can just delete it. I'm going to hide the grid. And we can apply our clay shader too. Now let's delete the history. And freeze the transforms. Now we have this base model, we need a copy. So press Ctrl and D to duplicate it. We now have two spheres. One will be for the outer eye and will be transparent, so we get the right reflections and highlights. So the cornea really. The other will be the inner eye and will have the iris and pupil. Let's make the outer eye a little bigger. And apply a new blend shader to it. We can now make that transparent. We can also adjust the specularity to make more of a highlight. That's better. Now we need to adjust the shape at the front to make the cornea more convex. I'm going to add a bevel here so we can create more of a slight crease in this area. I'll adjust the fraction to tighten it up. And round it off too. Okay. So you see as I rotate around, the highlight is moving across the surface of the eye and picking up the cornea. Right, now let's work on the iris. And this needs to be more concave. So let's push this in and add another bevel. Now we can use an extrude to add in the pupil. Scale this down and add another, and push this back. So there we have a basic eye model. Let's bring back the outer eye. You can see how the highlight is working now. Okay, let's add a bit more of a reflection to the shader. It just makes the eye look nicer. Let's open the blend and click on the swatch next to reflected colour. What we are looking for is the env chrome texture. We now have a basic reflection to work with. I'll just copy this tab so we can work on the texture. Okay. So first let's remove the lines in the sky. And now change the floor so it's more of a flat shape. You could leave the sky reflection as it is, with that sort of blue tint, but I'm going to desaturate it. That's better. I think I'll adjust the scale a bit. And to finish, I'll duplicate the main shader and make a darker version for her iris and pupil. So there you go, that's a very basic eye, but it's very useful when you're modelling, as you saw as we were working on the eyelids when we built the head and face. So those are the eyes, so now let's work on something a bit more complicated. Let's start on her teeth. And first I'm going to define her gums. Start with a cube. And create a cut down the middle. This is so we have a central point which we can use when we use the mirror tool later on. Now delete one side, the top, and the other side so you are left with more of a U shape. This will be the gum around one tooth. We can extrude the bottom to create the cavity. So we end up with something like this. Now we can duplicate it for the next tooth. Move it over, combine them, and then weld the vertices. Okay. Now let's add an extra division between the teeth, just for some extra separation. And I think we need another division down here. And here, so we can add more of an arc. Actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure if we need this loop. Now let's duplicate this and add more sections of the gums. We need enough for 8 teeth in total. That's just for this top quarter of the mouth. And weld these. I want to scale this now, but also keep this end in the middle. So I'll move the pivot over, press insert and snap it to the grid. Now scale it. So now I want to bend this so it curves, just like your gums do. And to do this, I'll use a bend deformer. So let's go down to non-linear, and then bend. Let's rotate this to match the gums. I'll check which way this is bending. Okay, so we need to rotate it. And I'll move this over. Remember that this is only 1/2. We can now use the low and high bound attributes to change how much of the bend deformer affects the model. Something like this will do to start us off. We are going to be editing it more later on. So let's maybe scale it. And now I'll delete the history to bake this bend into the model. I think we need another loop. And now we can adjust the overall shape. And add another loop. I want to move these vertices out so they scale but in a more uniform way. So I'll open the Move Tool options and change the axis orientation to normal. I can now move the vertices along their normals, which is along the N axis. There we go. As you can see, the other axes have different effects. Let's switch back to Object now. And I think we did need that extra loop between the gums, so let's add it back in. Okay, I think those upper vertices need separating to remove the pinch. And some more tweaking. Right, let's add the opposite side. And we will just use the mirror tool. We can use the default settings. Oh, these need to be welded. We should add the bevel down the middle too, so this matches the rest of the gums. Okay, that's the starting point for the upper gums done. I'll tweak the scale a bit. And do some adjusting. Now let's fill in the roof of the mouth using the Bridge tool. I'll create some cuts this way now so we can fill in from the front. We'll just fill these. Bridge here. And some more cuts. There we go. Let's relax this. And pull the sides in. Oh, I'll turn off symmetry first. So let's soften this and add another division. We need more of a ridge at the front. And now let's do some general reshaping with the sculpting tools. Okay, let's start adding some teeth. We're just going to start with a cube again. Apply the shader. And delete the top. Now adjust this to make a basic tooth shape. And move it into the gums. So this will be the central incisor. So that's in. Let's duplicate that for the next, which is the lateral incisor. Okay, let's adjust the gums now to fit around the teeth. So the canine tooth next, and we can use the incisor again. We just need to reshape it so it's a little sharper. And again, adjust the gums to fit around it. Let's rework the roof of the mouth too, with the sculpting tools. Now we need our first premolar, and this is a different shape to the rest, but we can duplicate the canine tooth to start us off. And reshape it so it's a bit squarer. We will need some more divisions too, so we get the right shape. Okay, something like this. And another cut. That's looking better. Looks like we need to adjust the gums again, they are way off. Okay, next premolar. And from here on, we will just be duplicating the first premolar to create the rest of the teeth. Duplicate this and put it roughly in the right place. And again, we need to edit the gums. Just reshape them so they fit around the teeth. Don't worry about the molars looking the same. You can always come back later and adjust them so they look more unique. Let's make more of a ridge here. And add another cut around here. We maybe need to shrink the gums too so they aren't as tall. Time for some more adjusting. Okay, let's combine these now and snap the pivot to the middle of the scene so we can mirror them. I'll just isolate the teeth. And we can use the mirror tool to quickly create the teeth on the other side. We should set it to not merge the border vertices so the central incisor doesn't get connected to the one next to it. Oh, that welded anyway. Okay, we need to change this. So disable cut geometry and try again. That's better. We have the top row of teeth now. I think the gums do need a bit more work. Let's extend the back here. We are doing this so we can eventually connect the upper and lower jaw. Move these up. Adjust the shape. And extend a bit more. We need more of a ridge behind the wisdom teeth. And curve this around. Okay, let's duplicate the gums. And flip them across the Y-axis. Move them down and make them slightly smaller. Now combine with the upper gums. Let's move them a bit further apart. And all we need to do now is connect the upper and lower gums. We can just bridge the edges. And now duplicate the upper teeth to create the lower teeth. Actually, let's delete half. And adjust these to fit the gums. Okay, let's create the opposite side again. I just want to separate these teeth. They look like the vertices are overlapping. I'll drop out of smooth mesh and move these apart. More reshaping. Okay, let's create the throat. So when the mouth is open, there's something to see. Let's extrude these and scale them down. We can use the circularize tool to quickly make these edges more circular. I'll rotate them now to align the edges. Let's move this, rotate it, and extrude. I might bevel here to add some more geometry. And now let's rework that shape. And we can relax the topology now to even it all out. It's basic, but it gives us more of an inner mouth. And if you wanted, you could add in the uvula, which is a small part of the back of the mouth that hangs down, and it just looks like a punching bag. What we need to do now is make sure the mouth will close. So first, let's move the lower teeth up and scale them to fit. We need the lower teeth to sit behind the upper ones. Like this. And we can see the gums need updating too. We can scale them. I'll edit the teeth a bit now. So I need symmetry enabled now. Oh, it's not working. I think I know what's wrong. The teeth may not be perfectly central in the scene. So let's snap them to the grid. Oh yes, that was off. I saw it move. And now symmetry is working. Now we can work on the teeth. I might flatten the bottoms actually, and also taper them in, just so they're a bit more like real teeth. Now I'm going to fly through and adjust their shapes. With that done, we need to update the gums again. And now work on the upper teeth, pretty much doing the same as we did with the lower teeth. And again, update the gums. So it's lots of tweaking and adjusting at this stage. Now we've got those main models in. Remember that antCGi Club members get access to the raw, unedited footage, so you can watch in real time and advert free. Could be good for you to refer to as you follow along. Right, let's close the mouth. And use soft selection. I'll adjust the fall off. Let's try rotating the bottom jaw slightly. Okay, I'll relax the inner mouth a bit. I think the teeth overall need to be thicker. We can move along the vertex normal again to quickly change the size in a more uniform way. Yeah, that's better. Now let's work on the upper teeth. Some final adjustments now. Just close the jaw. And scale it in so it fits better. I'm going to make a quick selection set actually with these vertices so I can quickly select them again if I want to open the jaw. Actually, let's open the mouth again, because next we're going to build the tongue. As with everything else, we will begin with a cube. And scale it up, and delete the back. So let's roughly position this, and extrude the back to make it longer. So that's the base shape. I'm going to freeze the transforms now, so we can move it over and work on it out of the mouth. That way, to get it back in the mouth, all we have to do is reset the transforms. We can continue to extrude it, and reshape it. Now add another edge loop down the middle. I'll add that with edge flow enabled, so it follows the contours of the model. We can pull these in now, and it will give us the crease down the middle of the tongue. We could do with some more edge loops. I'm just going to redo these without edge flow this time, as they are causing some weird bulges. Okay, that's better. And again, let's just work on the overall shape. You see, compared to the teeth, the tongue is a much simpler model. We don't need lots of topology here. We just need enough so that it can animate and deform. We can now set translate X back to 0 to move it back into the mouth. Now we need to adjust the throat section again. At this stage, you could try and optimize the model, or add in the ridges at the roof of the mouth. You have the topology there to achieve this, so it'd be quite easy to do. And now let's close the mouth. Make any final adjustments and you're pretty much done. As with every model, there's lots more we could do, like adjust the teeth to make them more unique, and get the gums to fit better. But for me, I'm happy to leave this here and come back to it later. So I guess all we need to do now is add these to our female base mesh. So here she is, and she does look a little different compared to the last time we saw her. All I've done is continue to work on the shape and the topology. Plus, I've adjusted the shaders too, so we have more of a skin tone. And inside we can see the teeth. One thing to point out is once the teeth were in place, I needed to change the mouth to fit around them. So make sure you update that on your model too. Okay, well I think we're pretty much done with this video. We now have 2 more videos to go before this series is complete. In the next one, we're going to test how she deforms and update the model so that she can be animated. And then, as an added bonus, in the final video, we're going to fully UV her, so she's ready to be textured in a future course. Okay, that's another video over. Thanks for watching right to the end, and make sure you also check out some of the other free videos and courses I have available. If you have any questions, please post them in the antCGi community Discord server. That's the best place to reach me, and if I'm not available, there are plenty of other talented people around to help. Remember, to help support future content and keep these videos free, hit the thanks button below, visit the antCGi store, or join the antCGi club. You can also treat me to a coffee at my coffee page. The link is on the screen now and in the description below. Thanks again for watching. This is antCGi signing off, and I will see you on the next one.